In this video, I will cover working with sound, which will get you through your Storyboard Plus project, and of course, the final animation. And I'll try to take you through all aspects of it, including getting a royalty-free sound. So let's start there. And I can't remember whether a student found this or I found it, but Bensound seems to be a pretty good place. So I'm just going to type that in the search engine here, and there we go. Royalty-free music by Bensound. Click on that, and there is subscription and licensed music in here, but if you stick on the royalty-free tab, you can go through and you can find a song you want. And what's really nice is they break it down into these little subsections to help you choose a song that you might have a feeling fits your animation. So just for grins, I'll click on jazz here, read a few descriptions, and see which one. Now let's try this hip jazz. So we're just going to click download. And notice it tells you the song is 2 minutes and 44 seconds, which is way too long for our 30-ish second video, but that's no problem. We'll just go ahead and download, and then it tells you here when you're about to download what the restrictions are. And basically they're just asking for credit. So when you make your video, especially, well, no matter what, if you're going to post it anywhere, but especially if it's going to go in the contest, you just simply have a section at the end that says, you know, video by, and you list your name, and then you put, and I specifically would put it this way, royalty-free music by, and then you put this, HTTPS www.bensound.com. Okay, so I'm going to click download, and I'll pause and let you know when it's downloaded. So when I clicked on that, it ended up both in my downloads folder, which where the heck is that nowadays? Right there, downloads. So you can see there's Bensound Hip Hop Jazz or Hip Jazz. It also just block ended up over here on the bottom of my computer. When I double click on either one of them, it opens up in iTunes. Now, if you don't have iTunes, or nowadays it's called, I think it's just called Music, and I have that on a computer, so I'll tell you the differences. But I figured it's best to show you this because if you have an older computer, you probably can't download music because that was a big difference in operating system. So anyway, I'll get you covered one way or another, but what happened when I clicked it is it opened up in this program, started playing. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this well, or it might sound funny coming through the speaker then through the mic, but I can't hear it myself either. There we go. But basically what you'd want to do now is listen to that over and over and find out what's just the right section of that sound for me, for my video. So for my example here, I'm going to pretend that it's 44 seconds in to a minute 14 in. Obviously that will be different for you. For whatever reason, this next step has changed many times over the years, but the gist of it is you go to the song, you right click or control click on it, you go to song info or get info, and this is flip-flopped many times, don't know why. So song info, get info. Once you do that, you'll see a list of different options across the top here. You want to go to options, and then you want to put in that start of the song. Click this checkbox, put in where you want the song to stop. Oops, I did that wrong. That should have been 044 to 1:14. Click that button. So those are both checked. I have my start, my stop time. Then I click OK. Now hopefully when I go to play this song, it starts at 44, which it did. And if I had it on loop, for example, it would just keep looping those same 30 seconds over and over. We haven't actually changed the song because you can see here it shows you the overall length of the song is still 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So we haven't done any damage to it. Before we get to that next step of actually creating just the one small chunk of the song, let me just make sure that I've covered all these instructions. So you're going to need either Apple Music or Apple iTunes, depending on what version of the software you have. It's a free download. And it will work on a Mac or a PC. It doesn't matter if the song starts out as an MP3, an AAC version will work fine. The music must be unrestricted. Most files are now, and especially if you're getting royalty-free music, that shouldn't be a problem anyway. bensound.com's good source. Listen, find out what that section is that you want, whether it's 30 seconds like I did, a little bit more, a little bit less. Just remember 25 seconds is the minimum. And just kind of think about expansion if you decide to make the video a little bit longer later on. If you do decide at the latter part of the semester you do want to shoot for the contest. Also remember that you can have multiple songs where one song starts to fade out and the other one fades in. If you're old enough to remember the radio, that used to happen on the radio. One song would fade out and the other one would start to fade in over the top of it. It's very easy to do here. So we just went into, well, no, actually this is the step that we need to do right now before we make our new version of the song. And we do this for a couple reasons. One, if it's an AAC version, we want to make sure that it converts to MP3. Even if it's MP3 and we don't do this, there's a chance that it could convert it to an AAC. So it makes sure that it either stays or ends up as an MP3. And we don't want a huge file to slow down Adobe Animate, so we're going to make sure it's 128K. Now, unfortunately, this varies depending on what version of either iTunes or music you have, but I'll make sure you know both ways. So we're going to start with this by going into Preferences on a PC, Edit Preferences on a Mac, iTunes Preferences, or Music Preferences. And actually, I just went and looked, and here's the only difference. In either case, go to Preferences. On Music, at least the current version, there is now a section up here that says Files, and you have to click on Files. But on the older versions, it's just under the General tab, and you see Import Settings. So again, either make sure you're on General, and you'll see Import Settings. If you don't see it there, look for a tab that says Files, somewhere in the middle here. Click on that and you'll see Import Settings. Once you see Import Settings, you click on it. You change or select Import Using. Make sure that that says MP3 encoder. And in the setting, we want good quality 128 kilobytes per second. And then we click OK. That just simply makes a change in the preferences for music that we would download or convert. And then, depending on versions, you're either going to control or right click on this and select something like convert to MP3 or just create MP3. But in some versions, you go up to File and you go to Convert and you go to Create MP3 Version. And while that's making the conversion, which it just did, and you can see it's only 30 seconds, but anyway, I'm going to go check on Music. At least that was easy. On Music, same thing. You just go to File, Convert, and you select MP3. So now, the good news is here, we have our original version, and if we want to put that back to truly original version, all we have to do is control click on that or right click on it, go into Song Info or Get Info, and go to Options and then just delete these out. I think if we remove that. Yeah, actually all we had to do is uncheck those. Click OK. That'll now play like it used to play. And this version is only from that section from whatever it was, 44 seconds to 1 minute and 14 seconds. Okay, so we've just done these steps. And now, to get us an easy way to view that version of the song, I like to just take and drag it from iTunes or Music to the desktop, but you can also drill down to see where it is if you prefer that. I'll show you both ways. So if you want to know where this new version of the song lives in your computer, you simply right or control click on it, go to Song Info, go to File, and you can follow this to tell you exactly where it is, but that's a lot of work, and for just a 30-second song, I see no harm in just dragging it out to the desktop. So I'll clear some space off on my desktop so I can see where it's going, and then just simply click drag Release the mouse. Oh, maybe we can't do that anymore. Oh, it worked that time. Okay, well, if you have problems, you know the other ways. You just drill down into your folder system till you find it. But second time was a charm for me. I now have that short version of it right here. And now we'll switch gears and we'll talk about setting up fade in and fade outs in Adobe Animate. So now you want to set up your file for the Storyboard Plus project. And I'll set mine up to the demo size that I've been working on over the last few videos, which is 800 pixels wide by 450 tall. And we'll go ahead and set the frame rate to 24 and click Create. And then we're going to import that sound into our library. So we go File, Import, Import to Library, navigate to where the song is. There it is on my desktop. Click Open, and then you can see if we go to the library that there's the one and only item in there. And then I'll just simply name this layer Music. Click on the first keyframe of that layer, drag the sound from the library, and you just go to the stage and release it. It doesn't actually show up on the stage, but what happens is it shows up here in the first frame, which doesn't tell you much, but if you just go out a little bit and do an F5, then you start to see the waveform representing the song. Now what you should do to make sure that you got what you were expecting of the song is say, okay, in my case it was 30 seconds long, and I'm at 24 frames per second, so 30 times 24 equals 720. So I can go slide all the way over here to frame 720, and actually I can't quite get there yet, but I'll go to about here. I'll do F5, which will give me more area to slide, and I'll go just past 720. I'll go to 730. Let's say, and I should expect to see that song stop at 720. So I know I'm good. I got the right version in. I'm happy. An extremely important step here, so if you're not ready to do this yet, make sure you write it down. Just click somewhere in your song, go to Properties, and you'll see right here it says Sync. You want to change Sync to Stream. And what that does is it makes sure that the music and the video that you're about to make, or the animation that you're about to make, stream as one. They stay together. So if, for example, the person's computer that they're watching your Swift file on happened to get bogged down or slow down a little bit, it would make sure that the video and the song still stay together, where if you had it on one of the other settings, it might favor the video quality and then the sound could get off, and that would be really bad, especially if you had mouths moving to dialogue or a foot tapping to the beat of the music. Hopefully it goes without saying at this point, but make sure that you go and turn off advanced layers by modify document and unchecking this button right here. And then the other thing that I suggest that you do with music, at least when you're first exploring it, is go over here, click on the file type or the layer properties, and change the layer height up a little bit, because what that can do is help you notice where like the beats of the music are, so that if somebody is about to put a foot down, rather than you have the foot come down in here, you put it here, and then that can attract the viewer's attention more. Alright, so here's all the steps we just went over. Go ahead and pause if you want to read through those, and we're about to go through fading in and fading out, because what's really annoying right now is if you were to play this video, just the sound just boom, jumps in, and it's crazy. So what you do is just place your cursor in the song, and we'll do the fade in first, and then you just go over here to sound, which will be invoked. You'll see it if you click here, and then right next to this little speaker and pencil icon, you click on that, and this right here is a visual of how high the sound is. So if it's all the way up, it means the sound is at max volume. Now you want to get an idea of what you're looking at here. So if you click the minus button, it'll show you more of the song at one time. And I believe these are seconds that we're looking at here. Yeah, so you can either be in frames or you can be in seconds. Seconds seem to make a little more sense here.